against Brentford this season.
Yeah, before we've played Sunderland even.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. But look, it was our best performance of the season when we played Brentford at home. It's a different kettle of fish going to the G-Tech and trying to get a win there. I don't think many teams have won there this season. They're 4th in the home table. We're 1st in the away table, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. But in terms of tactically, do you envisage that Spurs try and tactically play this a bit similar to the way we played against Crystal Palace? Because they're similar in a sense how they want to kind of just hit you on the transition a little bit, and that's their method of attack.
I think we try and do what we did to them in the home game. I know it's a different... I know it's obviously different playing them away from home, and there are different aspects to it, but what we did to them at home worked so well, and we pressed them really aggressively, and they really struggled to deal with us, and also they really struggled to create anything for themselves. So I think from that point of view, I think Frank will look at that, and I don't think he'll abandon that. Now the problem is we don't have Xavi, so we had Xavi was obviously a big part of what we did at home, wasn't he? And his individual moment of brilliance got us the first goal. He ran off Vandenberg in behind for the first goal, and his individual brilliance for the second goal. So he's going to be a big miss. And to be fair, even in that game, we did give Brentford the possession in the second half, if you remember.
Second half, yeah.
In the first half, we were on top of them, pressing really aggressively.
We were 2-0 up at half-time.
2-0 up at half-time, and then second half we gave them possession and countered them, and again we managed the game well. So I envisage something similar in this one. We'll go after them first half and try and get the lead, and then second half manage the game. That's what I think we'll probably do.
You need to be in the lead though to do that.
You do.
So I'm not sure if he's going to try and do the same, because he'll know the value of everything to do with Brentford at the G-Tech, and I just got a feeling that he might do a bit. He might stand off from the beginning a little bit. Don't press too much and just wait for them, and then kind of counter them when they try and come forward, and give them the onus and try and give them the ball, and try and beat them that way, the same way we try and beat Palace.
Well, I don't think it worked that well against Palace, to be honest. I know we won, but I think you can't ignore how we kind of blew Brentford away on the day. Mm-hmm. So I don't see why he would go for something different. It doesn't make sense to me, unless you think missing Xavi is that much of a miss that we have to completely change how we play.
Well, it is that much of a miss, because everything was going through Xavi that day. We don't have that player that can go on the pitch in this game. We don't have a pure creator. We're going to play Bergwijn in his role, and that's just not his role, is it?
No, not his best role, in my opinion. Although Frank seems to believe he can play in the 10, which I don't disagree completely.
There's playing in the 10, and then there's being a pure creator like Xavi is. There's two different things. He can play in the 10, but he can't do what Xavi did pretty much in the game against Brentford. He can't do that.
I think if he was to do that against Brentford, what he did against Palace, I think it would be a mistake. I don't think it's the right approach. I think I can understand why you would do it, because Brentford do rely on those transitions and hitting you over the top. But I do think we've got the players to deal with that, in my opinion. And I think they struggled with how we pressed them, and they struggled with the way we were able to play the ball over the top on their side, and ask them the questions rather than the other way around. So I think for me, I don't understand. Again, it's away from home. Brentford have a very good home record, so you don't want to disrespect that. But at the end of the day, we saw what we could do against them, and what we did was we completely outdid them on the day. And so why change what worked? Unless you really think it's that much of a difference playing away and without Xavi, which you might have a fair point. Maybe it is that different that you've got to completely change what we're doing. But I would argue I would not. I would go with I would try and go on the front foot and dominate.
They've won every game bar 3 at the G-Tech. They drew with Chelsea 2-2 at the early stage. They lost to Man City 1-0, and they drew to Leeds 1-1. So does that tell you anything about what kind of teams can go there and get points, or have gone there and got points this season?
City, Leeds and
Chelsea.
Not necessarily. Obviously, they beat Liverpool. Who else? I don't think you can learn too much about the opposition. No. Do you think you can?
Well, I'm just looking at it as being like the three teams that have gone there and taken points are kind of attacking teams.
Would you call Leeds an attacking team?
I think recently they have been. And since when Leeds got the points at Brentford, it was like, because they tried defending in the early stage of the season, but actually since their good form, they've actually been going for teams, haven't they? And the Leeds were the last
going
team.
teams while playing a back three.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
you
approach.
can be attacking while playing a back three.
Yeah, but it's a weird one. They're attacking, but while being more solid because they've got the extra defender.
Yeah. But I look at Leeds being, when I watched them, it seems like they're very much an attacking team.
I think before they were quite defensive.
Yeah.
But that was because I felt like they were quite defensive because they didn't have the coverage. I looked in the Leeds preview, but they didn't have the coverage. They went to a back three, which allowed them to be more aggressive in their pressing, but it gave them more coverage at the back because they've got the extra defenders. So I guess it's a braver in a way. I wouldn't call them an attacking team, but they're being braver, I would say. In their press, more aggressive. But City and Chelsea, obviously, we know they like to play on the front foot. I don't know if there's a massive correlation. I think Brentford like it when teams come at them, to be honest. I think that's what they want, and they hit you in behind. Against Man United, I remember watching that game. United dominated so much of that possession. You had just one ball from Henderson in behind to Thiago, and they were in on goal. That's obviously what they're going to try to aim to do. Now, the goal for Tottenham is, I think, look, they tried to do that to us at the Tottenham Stadium, but Romero and Van de Ven completely nullified what they had. I think we were just very good on that day. They tried to do the same thing, but they couldn't handle us.
But also, they are a pretty poor away side. They don't go to many away grounds and win or even play well. They've actually been really poor on the road. It's at home where they've been fantastic, and not many teams are being able to go there and do things. So, look, I'm sure, I think it's quite significant them playing home and away, and I think it's been shown so far this season. So I think if we go and play the same way, we got to be 100% on it. And if there's any sort of drop off in the intensity that we had in the game at home, then we'll probably lose the game.
I think that happens either way, potentially. For me, we know what we need to do to beat this Brentford side. We've seen it already. So that's got to be the game plan, in my opinion. Because we know Brentford just playing a similar... This season, anyway, it seems like they've been playing a very similar way in most games. Even away from home and at home, yes, the results have been very different, and maybe the confidence has been different. They have been much better at home, but in terms of what they try to do, it's very similar. So I think we've got to back ourselves, is my point. We have to back ourselves to do what we know we can do. We know we've got the better players. We know that if we're on top of our game and we outwork them, that it's going to be hard for them to live with us.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough without Xavi, but we've got the players still to win this game.
I don't know. I've just got this feeling that Brentford are going to come into this with something extra on their minds as well, because they know Thomas Frank's coming back to Brentford. The fans are going to be on top of it as well. It's going to be a different atmosphere at Brentford than it was at Tottenham. You're going to see a Brentford team. This is probably the 3 points that they want most out of any game in the season. You know what I mean? Players and fans. This is a massive game for them. For us, it's just another away game, and obviously we've been very good away from home this season. But we can't underestimate that kind of factor and the effort levels. I think that the players and the fans of Brentford are going to be putting into this game, and I think it's going to play a part in it.
For sure, which is why we should match them and not be scared of them. In my opinion, I think that should be the approach we should go with, and try and quieten the crowd and try and dominate them. Because I think as the pressure builds, the crowd are going to get more and more confident. They're going to get more and more up for it, and that can work against you, in my opinion, especially in this kind of fixture. That's why I wouldn't allow them to do that, which I think we're at risk of doing if we give them the onus. I think that would be a mistake in this game.
I don't know if it would, because they're just not very good with the ball. They're just not very good. Like, if you ask them to go and attack a team, I don't think that's where they get much joy. They get all their joy on the transition and playing into the open spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And if we give them the opportunity to do that, that's where they can hurt us. I know that didn't come to pass in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Obviously, we suffocated them that day. But like I said, it's going to be a different game this time. So I just feel that to nullify them completely, you kind of just be a bit more reserved. And then I think we can actually get quite a few goals.
But I think if we did what we did against Palace, right, and we give Brentford the chances Palace had, I think they'll score, is my point. I don't think they're going to be as bad in front of goal as Palace were on Sunday. And unless you're telling me you think if we play the same way we'll concede less chances, I don't. I think we'll concede a similar amount and we'll probably concede. And we also won't look good going forward. So that's why I wouldn't do that. I think that'll be a bad approach. I think Brentford, I agree with you, are going to be up for it, which is why we've got to go toe-to-toe with them and really go at them. Because I think if you give them that encouragement, you give it, and they take an early lead, a set piece, something goes in because you've been put under pressure early doors, all of a sudden your back's against the wall. That's what you've got to try and avoid in this game. You've got to try and quieten the crowd as quickly as possible. And that means having the ball, quietening the game, quietening the crowd, and putting them under pressure. That's what I would do.
Another thing which could be quite telling in this game, if Fabio's there. If Fabio's at the game on Thursday, is there some sort of deal in the pipeline for Kevin Schade? Is Kevin Schade going to be playing for a move to Tottenham on Thursday? We know that there has been serious links there. We know that Thomas Frank is the one that brought him to Brentford. And we know that's a position that we're looking at. So Brennan's last game for Tottenham could have been against Crystal Palace. Could Kevin Schade's last game for Brentford be against Tottenham?
Potentially. I think that could be very telling. Obviously, we haven't heard many links since Plettenberg.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see if we are seriously interested. But I think obviously you could easily be putting two and together in game 4. I think that just makes sense, doesn't it? A player Frank knows well, who scored regularly in the Premier League, offers more than Brennan in a position that we need. Is Schade the answer to our left wing problems? In the short term, I think there's an argument. Is he the guy to be our long-term left winger? I think jury's out on that. But he definitely offers something different to our current left wingers, something more of a goal threat, more of a running behind threat, and that's good. And I think we would like that. And maybe it'd be interesting if he has a really good game. If he puts himself in that shop window for us.
Yeah. It's not a ground that we've been that successful in. We won there last year.
I don't think we've lost there.
No, we haven't lost there. We've only ever... Well, I'm just looking at it now.
Draws.
So the first 2 years in the Premiership, it was 2 draws. The last time we've won there was obviously last season, but before then was 1998. Obviously, we haven't played them a lot, but...
There's just loads of draws.
We've played there 6 times. It's 4 draws and 2 wins.
Unbeaten. Come on.
Last year was just a weird game, though, wasn't it?
Last year we did give them the ball, and we were just very resolute, and we ended up getting the win. Own goal, I remember, and Sarr late in the game.
Yeah, good goal from Sarr.
Bit of luck, but we got there.
Yeah, and probably the time before that was Ange's first game, wasn't it, when we drew 2-2?
That was opening game of the season.
Yeah, Ange's first game, opening game of the season, where we were on the front foot for the majority of the game, and we ended up... I think, did Romero score an own goal that day?
Romero scored and went off with a concussion.
Did he not score an own goal as well? No, he didn't. It was Whistler and Mbuemo. Romero scored and then Emerson scored.
Emerson late on,
It was 2-2 at half-time. And then there was no goal for the rest of the game. So
I remember, we played fairly well that game. Anyway, it's a tough place to go for us. They always make it difficult. We always feel like we leave that ground and we got away with it a bit. So it's always very, very difficult.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. Obviously, I'm here with Daigle for the watch along.
Well, I guess a lot of games tonight, but in terms of where could we go anywhere if we win? The highest we could potentially go, depending on results, would be 7th, which would be good. We'll see what the other results contend with tonight and obviously tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, a win would be all of a sudden after 19 games, you're looking at potentially being in the top 10. That'd be great.
Yeah, look, I think we've got a nice little run of fixtures now. We need to get some wins on the board. Got Brentford, Sunderland. Who do we have after Sunderland? We've got Bournemouth and Burnley coming up. So West Ham. So we need to get some significant points on the board in these next 4 or 5 games. And if we do that, we'll leave ourselves in a really good chance and really good. We've set us up so nicely to go into the second half of the season and hopefully take that momentum into it.
Yeah, and it's about obviously the January's big, so that is going to be, for me, that will set up our season in terms of what we can do in January, and hopefully get a few results over this next month. This is a big month in general for the whole season in terms of signings, ins and outs, and results. It's all, I think, all could be set up or decided in this month in terms of what the rest of the season is going to look like.
Yeah,
we could be out of the cup. We could be, not in the top 8 of the Champions League. We could be bottom half, mid-table Premier League, or we could be in the top 10. We could be through the FA Cup, and with new signings.
So a mix and match of all of them.
There's so much to be decided. It's a very, very big month, and I think in a way selling Brennan at the start of it definitely shows to me like we're serious about doing things this month. Like we're not going to be waiting around. So that's a good thing, and that shows to me that they want things to get going. They don't want to drag things out. So let's see what happens. Yeah, that's encouraging.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting. Whatever you want to say. We've been dreadful so far this season. There's no two ways about it. But with the fixtures that we have now, and if we can go on a run, it can I wouldn't say make up for the awful start to the season and awful first half of the season, but it will put ourselves in a good position. And it's a position that we couldn't have envisaged a week ago. So it's kind of mad, isn't it, how poor we've been? But if we win these very winnable games, we'll be back up there.
Yeah, and that is the state of the Premier League at the moment. Everything is so tight. 2 or 3 wins and you're where you want to be. 2 or 3 losses and it's a crisis. And that's just how it is at the moment. So absolutely, it could all be recovered very quickly and can all be changed.
Yeah. So let's hope that does happen, and it all has to start at the G-Tech in the Thomas Frank derby. It'll be quite something if Frank can do the double over Brentford. The first team he's going to do the double over. Is this the first team that we're playing twice as well this season? So you can't really write it. But look, Spurs got to do the job, and we'll see you all on Thursday for the watch-along, people.
Super chat, Danny Kiriakou.